Hey Internet, Eric here. Happy Friday the 13th, or technically Saturday the 14th. Thank you to anyone who has watched my Friday the 13th upload where me and Frenzy got together. You know we get together every Friday the 13th to celebrate our love for the franchise. And we kind of did. Technically, the video is about our top 5 horror movies of 2024. Please go check that out. A very fun conversation. We proved that horror is not dead. You just have to look for it. But there was some Friday the 13th talk in the very beginning. I show off my autographs from different actors from the franchise. But last Friday the 13th, I celebrated all of kind of the following week. I had my get together with Frenzy, and then the next week I discussed a few Friday the 13th fan films. So you knew you're going to get your Friday the 13th worth with me this time. I'm celebrating all weekend. A little bit of celebration with Frenzy yesterday. Today, I'm going to talk some Jason Goes to Hell. And if you know me, you're probably wondering why. You know it's my favorite edition or my favorite entry into the franchise. You know I spent countless hours on the internet, whether it's here, whether it's on podcasts, other channels. I've helped interview Adam Marcus, the director. What more can I say about this film So I'm going to discuss the work print edition, the unofficial final cut, or how would I say what a work print edition is? A work print is, I guess you would say, the version of the film that goes through like the focus groups and they give their opinions. This part sucks. This part is great. We don't understand this part. All the feedback, the producers and the directors and the writers, all that, they take that feedback and then they switch it and we get the final product. I've talked work prints before with Rocky 5, the pluses and the minuses of that. I have discussed Rocky versus Drago, the ultimate director's cut of Rocky 4, the pluses and minuses of that. So why not on Friday the 13th weekend discuss the work print edition of my favorite entry? So I did take some notes, and I will discuss the differences that I noticed, whether I liked it or whether I didn't. Did I feel it fit? Should have been taken out? Do I wish that it would have been kept in? All that stuff. So the movie starts out the same. We still have hot-ass Agent Marcus getting naked and chased through the woods by Jason. FBI shows up, blow him to shit. There's no Jason groaning, though. I could take or leave that. I know, Knight, I know you hate the groaning. You know what? Then I guess this beginning is for you. There's no opening title sequence, where you have Richard Gant, the coroner. He's assessing Jason's body. Then we have title card. Then we have more assessment. Then we have starring, yada, 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 and so on and so forth. There's no that. And then there's no opening corner audio when he's laying out all the instruments. We don't have that. But he does eventually get to this guy's dead and shit. So we do have that. There's an added shot of the coroner opening like a fridge and going inside. Like we see the inside of the fridge. With the work print, it's shitty VHS quality. So I don't know what he grabbed. I don't know if he grabbed an instrument, if he grabbed Jason's heart, because I don't think you see the part where he lifts up the heart and looks at it. I don't remember. For all I know, he could be grabbing the soda that he's slurping during the recording. Didn't really need that. Doesn't matter. When the heart starts pumping and hypnotizing him, there's like a dreamlike score that is not in the unrated director's cut. That's the version I'm comparing this to. I wish they would have kept that in because I thought that was kind of cool. The next major difference is when Robert Campbell is talking to Creighton Duke. And, he says, I talked to Creighton Duke and, we're at his compound of training people. There's more to it. Robert says he says the Duke is not the hard and vicious man he was thought to be. This is his voiceover. He was pleasant, articulate, and as you will agree, somewhat odd. That would have been cool to keep in. So we have a little bit more of the interview, and then it cuts right to the little girl and the hot dog thing. So that would have been cool. And then after that, there's a little bit more of the interview where Robert asks, how many mercenaries have you trained? Well, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you. And then he talks about, it's been a while since you've been doing this or something like that. He's like, what was your last case where I caught the Arizona slasher? That would have been a little bit more. I mean, I love the mystery of the Duke, but I wish that would have been cool to keep in. So Even if it's a generic name like the Arizona Slasher, it still would have been cool to hear him say and talk about. And then he also says that you just can't kill Jason by getting rid of the body. So then the rest of the interview is the same. Was it $500,000 or $5,000 or something like that is my fee? Then for that you get the machete, the mask, the whole damn thing. The line from Jaws. It does not cut to Diana watching the news. We don't watch her watch the news at all, and she does that. Then she goes and talks to Steven. Steven wants to make right. You want to make right by Jessica, blah, blah, blah. There is no campers. Steven does not pick up the 3 campers and take them to Crystal Lake so they can go get slaughtered. And I'm glad that the focus group wanted at least one scene at Camp Crystal Lake, because that's one of the best sequences. Like, this work print is only like an hour and 22 minutes. The unrated director cut is an hour and 33, I think. And that added 5, maybe 10 minutes was great, because you get the scalpel death with Alexis. She gets killed. And then, of course, you get the couple in the tent where the girl gets the pole ripped in half. And you get the guy, screaming and his head crushed off screen. That is needed. It's Camp Crystal Lake. We do need that. So I'm glad they went back and put that in there. No score sting with Diana and Josh. Oh, okay. So what that means is Josh is now where Josh is possessed by Jason. We already had the manscaping scene. He grabs Jessica. Jessica looks in the mirror, and that's where she sees Jason. You hear that. You in the director's cut. You have that great sting as with the close up. It's not in here, so it's a welcome addition. When she blows his brains out and he lifts his head up off the ground when he's grabbing her, we don't get that little goop, the brain and the blood pouring out. So that is great to have that added to the director's cut. And there's a different voiceover, her scream, when he's on top of her and she has that high-pitched squeal, that high-pitched scream in the director's cut. That's not in this. So that's a welcome addition. I'm glad that they added that to the director's cut. Now, there is a scene, like we saw earlier, like if you've seen the final version, I guess you would say, Duke kind of unintentionally harasses Jessica, and then her boyfriend, Billy Greenbush, the sheriff, basically has him thrown out. Now, if you're watching that version, you think he's arrested for making, he's insulting the sheriff and making passes at his girlfriend. But that's not really a way to arrest somebody. And here, this would have been cool. I wish they would have added this to the final version, because Duke is getting taken to jail. He's being processed because he was caught at the morgue and because Diana's body was missing. He was going to steal Diana's body. And he says, someone fucked up and got to it before I did. If it's where I think it is, you're in a world of shit. That would have been cool. That would have, shown that how he actually, like a reason why he's arrested. More of the mystery. And it would have been really cool to know that something else is up. Who took the body? So I wish they would have put that in. We get to see a whole new... We get to find out Vicky actually has a boyfriend. There is a scene where she's at home. Vicky's the hot redhead waitress. She's taking care of baby Stephanie. Her boyfriend walks in. They have a little flirty scene. It's cute. And then we cut to another scene. Then we cut to... What do we cut to? The death of her boyfriend. That's what I have. The death of her boyfriend. He gets out of the shower. He gets naked. Josh walks in, bashes the boyfriend's face on the bathroom sink, and he dies. It's 10 seconds. It would have been interesting to see another kill, but it's not necessary. When Steven walks in, he's now in the diner. Like there's a shot of him spying and watching Vicky walk the baby into the diner. He's hiding behind some bushes. He sneaks in. He does, I don't even know your name. He's talking to Jessica, or to Stephanie. Ward walks in. Now, we've seen this in the final cut where Ward tosses Steven his own car keys, and he says, take my car, get out. And he's doing it, because he knows he's on the run, and he knows Joey B's going to fucking kill him. But he's doing it as a friend. There's an added scene here that I wish they would have kept because it's a little bit more of a conversation. He says, take my car, get out. Park the car somewhere, mail me the keys, get out. And Steven says, Ward, I'm not running. So that's more of Steven manning up, becoming more likable. I wish they would have kept that in. Then we have a scene where we cut to the Voorhees house, and we know Steven's hiding. He's in the closet, falling down. Jessica's body shows up. Falls down in between them, and this is the part where Robert Campbell he walks in. In the finalized version, he's talking about secrets of the Voorhees house revealed. Talk to the guy in props, put some body parts here in the fridge, and all that bullshit. And he goes, yeah. And then I went home. And he admits to stealing Diana's body from the morgue. And he says, and then I went home and fucked her daughter. So that makes him such an evil asshole. I'm glad that they did that because in this version, the work print version, he's just talking about the Voorhees family tree. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. It shows how he doesn't give a shit because you can hear the guy on the phone. What's Jessica doing? I don't know. She's at home crying about something. Well, what do you expect? Her mom was murdered. So he's still cold and uncaring, but I like what they did in the finalized version because it shows how just much of a sleazeball asshole he is. So that part's better. Okay, now Steven has just rescued Jessica from Robert, and they've pulled over, and they're talking about the baby. Why didn't you tell me about the baby? Steven, I told you I was pregnant. You said you weren't ready to be a father, but you told me you had a miscarriage. She either said miscarriage or abortion. I think she said miscarriage. Either way, I'm glad that was taken out. Because, yes, we can kind of, in the finalized version, we don't know why Steven and her aren't together. We don't know if he got her pregnant and ditched her type of thing. I'm glad this was removed because that was taken out about Steven, so we don't think he's kind of a douche. But I'm glad it wasn't, what Jessica said wasn't in the finalized version because lying to him and saying that she wasn't able to have the baby, it makes her unlikable, in my opinion. So I'm glad they took that out. Let's see here. Oh, okay, hero moment. Steven's hero moment. We all love the part where he's handcuffed behind the back and he hops up, puts his hands in front of him, and starts, the hero moment in the police station. He does not yell Jessica at the top of his lungs, so that takes away from the hero moment, in my opinion. Everything is pretty much the same there. Then we get to the diner massacre. Pretty much the same, other than some voiceovers are different. I'm glad that they had the actors go back to do their screaming, like when Shelby Pookie yells, "Oh shit!" When he's getting ready to get grabbed and thrown in the fryer. It's better in the finalized version. There's when Steven's yelling, "Go, go, 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 go!" It sounds better in the final version. So there's that. That's the only differences. Now cut to the very finale. Duke has fallen to the ground. Which cop is Jessica gonna stab? There is no line where she's saying, "Stab them both." No, there is no line of "do it or die." One of the best lines in the movie, in the final cut, Duke says basically, "Kill both of these motherfuckers. Do it or die." One of the best scenes, especially that close-up of Stephen Williams yelling that. Thank you, Adam, for adding that. Now let's get to the demon baby. We all know. We've seen when Randy gets the head cut off and the demon thing crawls out of his neck. And then in the unrated, it jumps on Steven, gets thrown in the basement, and up inside Diana. If you know, you know. In this version, we don't really see it. We don't see that happen. It goes down in the basement, and then we have this. Now this part's very, very dark on the work print, so it's hard to make out. But Duke is slowly trying to climb up that ladder, the stairs, being helped up from falling down. We see a little bit of Diana's body. That's it. We don't see the creep show crate or anything like that. We don't see, you know what I mean when I say that. But then, Duke's still trying to climb up. We hear the groaning underneath. And then we have this gigantic Jason Demon Baby, or Jason Worms, as we like to call it on the Night Watch Zone. It's this huge hulking motherfucker. And it's crawling out. And then Duke jumps from behind it, grabs it. He's got it in a chokehold, and it gets somehow thrown back down in the basement. Then you hear groaning and grunting, and then uh, I think there is no line about say it has to be born through a Voorhees woman. Does it have to be a living woman? No. That thing's in the basement with Jessica's mother. That line's not in it, but he does say something like, "I know where Diana's body is." And you hear the groaning. Boom! Here comes Jason. Sadly, when Duke's bear hugged, there's no "Tonight, my friend, you will die" line. That's taken out too. That's disappointing because that's one of the best lines of the whole fucking movie again. Because Duke is awesome. What else? The final confrontation, the scene with the jungle gym. Steven's thrown on top of a jungle gym in the final act, or in the final cut, and then Jason just walks over to the jungle gym, lifts it up, and Steven kind of rolls away with it. This is cool because he's thrown into the jungle gym. There's a little bit more to it. Steven's inside the jungle gym, moving back and forth, and Jason is trying to claw at him, grab him. There's some great shots of with the camera inside the jungle gym as Jason's reaching, trying to get it. A little long, but maybe a little bit of that would have been cool. Okay. Steven's getting beat up. Jessica comes, puts the knife, boom, right into the chest of Jason. He pushes her off. Now in the theatrical version, she just gets shrugged off and falls. Here, she falls and knocks her head on a rock, knocking her out. So Steven is the hero. He wakes up. He does, the crane kick. And he's punching Jason in the face. We don't have the effects. I love the effects every time he punches him. We have that little glow. We don't have that. And then Steven is the one that kicks the knife into it because Jessica's knocked out. I'm glad they fixed it because in the final cut, it's Jessica who does it. Remember, only a Voorhees can kill Jason, so they fixed that mistake. And plus, it's cool seeing Jessica do it. She finally does something. So that was cool. I'm glad they fixed that. And then the only major difference is when Jason is drugged into hell. We still get the rock biter hands, from Neverending Story. But we have some other demons come up that look like twigs. They have twigs coming out of their head, and they kind of look scary. We have a real nice shot of Jason just standing there. It's with miniatures, and if you've seen the behind-the-scenes stuff, you've seen the miniature of Jason with the other demons around him. It doesn't matter if they're there or not. And then the movie ends how it normally ends. Freddy comes, grabs a glove. Final thoughts. Lots of differences, 10 minutes worth of differences. Let's see here. As I've said, the main thing is I'm glad they put the camper scene in the final cut. One of the best stuff. I wish they would have added more with the Duke interview. Like I said, the Arizona slasher would have been cool. How many people have you trained? Then I have to kill you. More mystery. I wish they would have shown Duke getting arrested for being at the morgue looking for the body. So I wish that was added. But I'm also glad that we find out how big of a piece of shit Robert Campbell is with the whole "I fucked her daughter" line. So there are some really good improvements that they did. I don't really give a shit about the gigantic demon. You know what I mean? Because as the movie's already bonkers and bug nuts, I don't care that isn't in the final cut. Overall, I still prefer the finalized unrated version. We have that added scene of the campers, Diana being introduced a little early with the watching the newscast. That's good. The lines of Duke that are not in the work print, the do it or die, that adds to it in the unrated cut. Overall, unrated cut is the way to go. I just wish they would have had those extra scenes with Duke. It's my only real complaint other than not having the camper kills. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I still, no matter what version you watch, unrated cut, work print edition, I'm sure the theatrical is just as good. I haven't seen that probably since VHS. Either way, I love this film no matter what version I watch. So much fun from beginning to end. My favorite in the franchise. I'll die on that hill. I have been doing that for years. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me what you think of this entry. You don't believe me? How could I love this one so much? Feel free to comment below. Are you a lover of this film? Have you seen the work print edition? What are your thoughts? I will have a Bloody Sunday tomorrow. It will be Friday the 13th related. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Monday, Mary Schlockmas, I think. I don't know if I'm going to do Santa Claus or Christmas Evil. I'll probably do Santa Claus, leave Christmas Evil for the week of Christmas. And I don't know what else I have planned, for the rest of the year other than the Mary Schlockmas stuff. But if you want to know what I have planned for next year, watch the top 5 horror films of 2020 with me and Frenzy. It's a lot of fun, very informative video, lots of cool stuff. I show off some autographs, and then at the end of the video are my plans for next year. So I'm rambling. Cheers. Happy Friday the 13th. Jason Worms for life. Bite me, whatever. They're great. Deal with it. Cheers.